Hello everyone. We'll start in just 5 or 10 minutes. Hello. Rhythm, should I start now? Hello. Am I audible, guys? Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. So, good evening, everyone. It gives me great for today's dinner. Mr. Nitesh Shetty is here. So, Nitesh Shetty is a tech entrepreneur and algorithmist with over 25 plus years of global experience. He has a keen interest in deep technologies, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and quantum computing. His expertise lies in transforming business through cutting edge innovations and aligning advanced technologies with business strategies. He is the founder of Trace Labs, in the sector of cybersecurity and digital forensics. X works emerging tech skills. Also, he is the founder of AOFI, AI Consulting, and Agentic AI Solutions. Nitish is also an author of the book Scoop on Quantum Computing, which is available on Amazon. So, welcome to you, sir, for this evening, and thank you so much uh, for your presence. And yeah,
Welcome, sir.
so over to you, Mr. Nitishji. So please carry on.
Thank you, Janti, for
Yeah.
that nice introduction, and thanks everyone for the evening. I know it's a Thursday, and you guys might have busy at work. So for the next some time, we'll just see as a founder, as an aspirational founder, and with low budget, what can you do to your dreams? Okay. So without wasting much time, I will just start. So Janti, I can share my screen, right? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So good evening, everyone. My name is Nitesh, and for the next 30 to 40 minutes, I will walk you through something called as uh, founder's blind spot, and we will see how we can overcome it to a certain extent, can actually take it on without the right amount of perceived resources. So without wasting much time, guys. So the topic for the evening is the founder's blind spot: building without a tech team. Now, before I start, when I say building without a tech team, uh, how much possibility do you guys think that we can actually build something without a tech team? Like, just anybody would like to, answer that question? Like, without a proper tech team, like you are just a import exporter of textiles, for example, and you want to have a website of your own. Now, do you think that how much possibility do you think that without a tech team you can just get it started? 20%, okay. 60%. Interesting. Yeah. I, I like that. So, yeah, we are getting some good, interesting answers. But I would say, like, yeah, like, um, we'll see during the course, and I will ask this question again after the course to you guys. Like, what is your opinion at that point of time? All right. So, yeah, as Dante said, like, I've been in this industry for quite a while, and 25 years, seen through different stages of the industry, like starting from Y2K boom to the website, to the web boom in 2000, and getting off into cybersecurity and cloud computing, and now AI. A lot of things has been passed away, and for the last 8 years now, we have been helping founders and startups and governments to get the right kind of tech stack to the people. And during my experience, I've seen one thing, like there are a lot of founders who begin with the right intentions, but ultimately a drift happens. There is a shortage of money. They have they have overspent their budget. They're not getting the right tech founder. They're not getting the right team. Um, Tech is expensive, or that's a pursuit. But all these things lead to a conceived thinking that if you want to start anything in IT, probably you need at least certain amount of money to get started. But now we are going to an age of AI and age of tools where per se, if you have a dream and if you have a capability to work very hard, at least you can get things started for sure, like without any strong tech model. But to take it to the next level, definitely you need a good tech expertise. Um, so that's why I begin with this topic called as startup dream versus reality. Like everything, startup life look at glamorous. I mean, startup uh, like for every, so there was a interesting study done. like for every super hit startup, there are at least more than 100 startups that have failed actually behind the scenes. I'm talking about less number. So if we think that tech is a very, startup is a very like, ultra rich line and, it's a very glamorous line, believe me, folks, for every Flipkart or for every, there are like thousands of startups that have been failed. There may be any number of reasons. We will not go through the reason part, but yeah, startup life looks glamorous, but the ground reality is very different. It's it's a dream. It all begins with the founder's dream. It's a dream, like It's so there is a vision of the founder, and the founders has to stick to the vision. Now, entire thing is fine so far. Like founder wakes up, he gets an excellent idea. He's all gung-ho. He speaks to his family. He speaks to his friend. There is initial potential lineup available, friend support, and all those things are there. He is out to change the world. But almost every founder start like that. Why only a few founders go exactly where they need to go? Because most of the things fail when it actually comes to execution. So actually things get very, very complicated when you actually go and execute the things. So, what kind of problems does the founders actually, struggle with? Okay. The classic examples. You want to build something in IT, you want to build an app, you want to build a website, you want to build a next level agentic AI, but you don't have a technical co-founder, you don't have a technical team. This is the most important problem from my viewpoint. You know, so you approach to freelancers, you approach to your agencies, and most of the time, right, these guys are not aligned, or they may not be understanding your vision. Like, you have to be very careful in selecting to whom you actually outsource your project to, because the vision is the most important thing. See, it is not about building. See, building anybody can build. Even you can build. Everybody can build. But a person who actually is aligned with their vision is when your building is not just a normal product. It is like, it's actual realization of a potential vision. So this is something that you need to actually make sure that the person with whom you're approaching, be it your tech team, be it your vendor, be it your tech co-founder, he has to have a strong understanding of the vision. If the vision is not understood, things go awry from that point of time. Same thing as communications. It actually happens to bad builds. Like we are seeing tech founders, well-funded tech founders, not able to communicate their actual business vision, actual do good vision to the team. Team is going in direction Y. This guy is going in direction X. Big mishap. And it simply happens that people keep on building and building and building, and you're just burning your money and nothing happens. Ultimately, what happens is the motivation is lost down the lane. So the reality is, without the right tech strategy, the vision, it will be difficult for a vision to become a reality. So telling that, when we say about the blind spot, what exactly is a blind spot? Blind spot is like when we say a blind spot, we associate it directly with a car mirror, right? Like you're driving on a highway and there is a blind spot, so you don't see that blind spot, and you sometimes dash your car with somebody else. So same thing happens in business also. There are blind spots. There are spots that are always there, but they're not visible to the founder. So what happens is founders say, okay, this is all good, this is all good, but they fail to see that blind spot, and that's where they fall actually. So what founders often overlook? Okay, most non-tech founders assume building a product, we should be hiring a bunch of developers, and the product will be built. No, it's as good as you are building a house by just telling a couple of bricklayers to build the bricks. So product building, like the actual hiring and the actual development of a product, is probably one of the last things that a product, something that happens to the product. Product is like starts at a very, very high level. It starts with a vision and absolutely zero tangible things, and eventually it becomes so refined. Then hiring a developer is just one of the last steps and one of the least things that you actually bother. The real blind spots are the classics. You know. So if a if a guy wants to build a product, and if he just absurdly builds a product and say, okay, this is how I'm going to build a product, but he doesn't think about the architecture part. Like like today I got one user, but tomorrow if there are 50 users, my system just goes down. Not good at all. You need to have a certain basic metrics. Again, security. You know, of course, the funds and all are something that intangible ones, but security is something that you should be worried about. People generally don't think about all these things. Like when I say I want to build an app, then they just go out and build an app. But that's not a way to build a product, actually. Um, when you build an app, you should be making sure. Like very very recently, I had a very good friend of mine who was building a Tinder type app using AI, and all the things were good, but it had pictures of all the people, right? Like and security was completely breachable in the product. When we saw the product, I saw it from the lens of a security guy, and we made some initial fixes. But the point is, like security is something that a seasoned guy just also could just overthink about it. Like so security is one of the important part. Wrong tech stack, like if a guy goes and just starts, you know, going in a direction like, and this is one of the most common problems that I've seen. Founders engage interns, founders engage people who are just very brand new. And sometimes they are lucky, sometimes wrong tech stack is very costly. Modularity definitely is a more technical thing, but this is the most important part. Generally, anything in a technology level requires a good long-term planning. I mean, this is how great products are built. Right? Like they start with maybe one feature, maybe two features, and they might be having like 50 different features. But every feature was not built on the first day. First day you just come up with one feature, but it is more of a vision that is very long-term in thinking. So if I think that okay, I will build a product and I will just deploy it in the production and let's see how it goes. Um, it might be a very short-term thinking that I'll build a product and sell it to somebody and make some money. It's not generally it doesn't work like that. When you build a product, you have to put a heart and soul to the product, right? Otherwise, your product will just be like thousands of products that are already there. So this is, according to me, this is the real blind spot. Like long-term planning is generally required when you're building a product. Most of the people just have short-term planning, and that is one of the major flaws of product building. That at least I have seen. Before I get on to the next section, um, any questions, thoughts, any feedback?
So yeah, from the audience, anyone can raise their hand and ask anything they want. Okay, please, come on. Anyone? Any doubt? Okay, so I think we can go forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So in the next few minutes, we're talking about um, how to get things started. You have a vision. Now, Pearl got a vision. Now, he just wants to translate that vision. Now, he doesn't have a tech team. He doesn't have like even like any money in his pocket, and he just wants to make sure that he gets something off started out, so that slowly and steadily he builds it. So, as I told, before starting anything, just believe in your vision. This is something that is not technical. This is something more of a philosophical mindset. Like without believing in your idea, don't go for the money, don't go for the greed of the money. Don't think that I'm going to sell it off to so and so. If you are building a product, build it with a heart and soul. Like this is old school thinking again, but but always works. First thing first, So if now in the next 7 slides, I will just tell you a very overall idea as a non-tech guy, as a non-tech founder. what exactly or what might be the best way to kickstart your idea. So first of all, very first of all, you just take a plain Word document and start writing in an English language, simple or whatever language suits you. Like, what is the exact problem that you're solving? And write it, okay? And I prefer writing it in a pen and paper because I always believe that when you write things, right, your neurons are firing brilliantly rather than typing things. I mean, for the sake of presentation, I put it that you can use Google Docs and Notion. But from personal experience, I'm telling that, always writing helps, like actual writing, pencil, pen, paper, simple. You ought to simply think about what problems are you solving, the actual problem that you're solving. Like it might be a very like okay, I'm in the EV area. Like EV is a very broad area. Right? You can have anything from solar batteries to cars and whatever you want to do. Like don't just go on a holistic level. Just focus on a one small thing that I'm going to build a dashboard for you. Done. What exactly are the problems you're solving? And who are your users for that? And only put down three features. We don't want to put like 1,000 features. We just want to have three core features. That's it. With the desired user journey means what exactly the benefits of this product will be to me. So just go and write it down. Just this is just for you or any team that you engage. But for now, it is just for you. You have to simply write the problem. You have to simply write who are the users of this problem going to be, and three features. That's it. And how the user will be impacted by these three features of your of your product. Spend like the maximum amount of time in this particular sheet because this is the sheet that will be staying in your head forever. Like what problem you're solving, who are your users, and what are the three features that I will be going to put it out. Afterwards, we need to have something called the functional spec sprint. This is way before you even actually go to a UA and put something. This is you can even write it down on a piece of paper or anything. Here you are actually building the user story. Like for example, I just written like if you are there is a platform called as Cameo where users actually pay for celebrities uh, for their custom video shoutouts. It's like a platform. It's exactly the user journey you have written. According to your vision, user logs in, second part is searches for a celebrity. This is what you are expecting the user to be doing. Logs in, searches for a celebrity, chooses location, it's a birthday or whatever it is. Celebrity reviews request, uploads videos, user is notified by them. Yeah. So this is a one user journey that actually goes down. And each step now, if you look at searching for a celebrity, just exactly a search API. And now, I mean, you get more granularity into what you're actually building. Again, you're not started building at all. This is just in your paper and pen. But this is what gives your product the actual granularity. Like choose an occasion, like pay. That means you need a payment gateway. Searching for a celebrity, you need a search API. Notification services. This is exactly what you should be starting off with. Okay. As a step number three, okay. As a step number three, this is now more, now your paper and pen is done. As a user, you're actually entering your laptop, like your digital. Now, here at the very beginning, right, if you're simply building a mobile app, for example, or a website, you can use tools like Figma, written here, Figma, Marvel, and or Framework, and there are multiple tools available. Not only these three. These three are some of the common. Any person can use these tools to see how your UI works. I mean, it actually looks like a working app, even though it's not coded. So you click on a budget, You click on a button, another screen opens up. You click on a button, a video plays. You click on a button, it actually envision how your product will look. That is why Figma has become so popular. Like, how to do it? Just sketch 4 to 6 different screens. Like how app begins with like, user login, there are 3, 4 buttons in the downstream, there will be a dashboard, like, and just link it to simulation, like the actual flow. You click one button, what happens? You click second button, what happens? And you can do all these things in, I've been using Figma and Framework for a while. You can do all these things in Figma, like very, very easily, like absolutely easily. If you want, you can use for some visuals, but um, this kind of prototype, like a clickable prototype, it's not a product yet, okay, but it gives you a feeling on how your product will look like. So, for example, if you want to show it to your very early investors, like, guys, this is how our product will look like. Whenever you give me the money, I will build a product. But for now, this is how the product will look like. Use it. Believe me, guys, you can actually do whatever your vision looks like exactly like that in Figma without writing a single line of code. No code at all. Your users will be happy, like your alpha users, your friends, family, work, because they will actually understand this is not a product yet, but they will exactly understand how your product is looking to be. Your investors might get a feel of how your product is going to look like. Um, and maybe you will get a tech co-founder. I don't know, but this is the best starting way. Just go to Figma, free login. Everything is like, you just go there, enroll yourself, and just start building some clickable prototypes. And if you want to know how Figma works, there are hundreds of YouTube videos, and you will be actually building a prototype. Okay, so that is the UI part of this thing, like not the back end, nothing on the database, only the front end on how it will look. So, okay, so you built your now. So before doing anything, now still you don't have a product, you just have a prototype. Now what we are going to do is you can build a single page website. Single page website, nothing fancy. For example, if you're building what do you call a hardware product app. Now you built how your app is working. You can just put a website, a single page website that says so herbal product is getting up started very soon. Interested customers can just email me and they will be notified as soon as the service begins. Very simple. What will happen is these are the tools you can use. Again, most of them are chargeable or I mean not chargeable or very, very less chargeable, like absolutely less chargeable. You can just include a headline, a product benefit, and a call to action. This is important, a call to action, where you just say, okay, put your email and you'll be notified as soon as this product is becoming online. Like, this is how you actually, without spending money, you're actually testing out whether there are actual buyers or was it my dream till now? Because we don't know at this point of time. I mean, you may have the best of the ideas in your mind, but we don't know are there real buyers out there. Now, if you get a lot of signing, for example, show interest in your product, well, that's I think a good starting point. Like at least there are 100 people in the world to whom you are being able to send the message, and they are actually waiting for your product to be getting launched. Till now, you're not spend a single dollar or a very maybe $10 this thing, but very minimal amount, absolutely minimal amount to start off your dream. So build a Figma, you build a now you've done all these things. It's all online. Next, what your competitors? Similar product. For example, if you're selling herbal products, for example, or a herbal tea, chameleon tea, for example. Now, if you're selling an herbal tea, research similar product and put a spreadsheet. Like what exactly are they offering? Like what are the features they're offering? What are the pricing models they're offering? What are the customer reviews? and what are the strengths and the weaknesses. Competitors are one of the most key features I always see, because if your competitor has got, a different model, so what people hate about this model, you can make it better than them. So you have an edge. For example, customer doesn't like if the shelf life is like, for example, if the packaging is hopeless of your competitor, maybe you can come up with a better packaging, or maybe distribution channel is not good, refund is not better. You can actually do better than your competitors. So this part helps you to define what not to build in you. Okay, this is the most exercise will tell you, like, these are the things that are so I should be, I should be um, building it. I should not be building it rather. Like, things that are not working for others will not work for you ultimately. So this is what you have to do as a competitive seller. So far, guys.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So anyone want to ask anything? Hello.
Okay.
Otherwise,
All right.
yeah.
So we'll just wrap it
So
up.
yeah.
Okay. Now coming to the AI, the AI tools. Okay. When I say it's very important to understand like how you can use these AI tools. Like, there are a lot of things that your chat GPT can do for you, apart from the Kilibi or Ghibli poster renderings. You can use it to understand how your user scenarios work, how your use cases work, you know, and you can actually use AI to, generate an HTML code that does a lot of things behind the scene. And for example, if you want a form that actually, when somebody enters the form, you get a email message. Now, how to do it? Like, normally you will not be able to understand how it works. But using AI, like Zapier and Make.com, which is absolutely free again, you can actually make sure that when somebody enters their form, you get a message or an email or an SMS. It is an functionality in the website. You are making the website fuller, actually. So earlier it was just a single page site.
Yeah.
Where click buttons, doesn't have to be anything, but your here something more complicated again. This is for a little bit adventurous founders, but I would say every founder should use this thing, at least in the very beginning. When I say no code, there are a lot of tools in the industries that allows you to bring the functionality of a coding without even coding, actually speaking. So, for example, if you want to build a dashboard, now there are tools like Retool or Airtable. Like, instead of doing it in like 5 hours, you can do it in like in a couple of hours. So for 1 hour, you get an entirely functional dashboard without writing a single line of code. You are simply going to the tools. Sorry, anybody?
Yes, sir. Got it.
Yeah. So you are actually using visual visual tips and visual buttons to actually connect to the data source and pull down information. You are not, again, writing a single piece of code, but for your own internal tooling system, for example, the automations and the dashboarding kind of things, or if you want to see, okay, how many people have visited your website in the last 24 hours, and if you want to see visually, then you can build something very quickly using tools like Retool or App. And as I have written, you save at least 3 weeks of development time and keep your team productive in some other way rather than, I mean, if you have the development. But if it is a solopreneur, like if you're a one-man show, then instead of writing everything in a Node.js system for dashboarding, you can simply use Retool. Like, you will be super productive that way. You don't have to invest your time in writing everything from scratch. And
Yeah.
now, this is also, no, this is not a tech thing actually. Now here it's more about when people sign in, right? like you can ask people before building, like whatever your problem statement is, your potential customers can be asked, like what exactly is the pain point they are facing. Like even this is before building a tool, I would say, and you can document it very neatly in a Notion or Excel or Miro. In like the exercise, the outcome of this exercise is, if you talk to a lot of people about the pain points in your line of expertise, then you will understand what exactly people need, and that is what exactly investors love. If a guy has did his homework, if you know exactly what people want by talking to people and spending like your 3 months into user survey and research, and you have a spreadsheet with all the user feedback, investors just love that, even before putting a single money. So, so just like and this is again for a founder's tech notebook. So you should be having some questions about, for example, what like whenever I start building it, should I use an API or should I use a Flutter? And you should keep a note of things that you don't understand. For example, if somebody says something called as MVP, now you don't know MVP, you do a Google search, you ask ChatGPT, but still you're not understanding what is MVP. Or if you're thinking about neural networks and deep model, version 1.2, something like that. You know it at a very holistic level, but you exactly don't know how it works. Write down on a founder's tech notebook, and these are the things that will always keep you one step ahead. You have to be very inquisitive and curious minded. So that will make your conversations with the fellow tech, because ultimately you will be meeting a lot of tech bros in the world, right? You have a tech product, you will be meeting a lot of tech bros. With your conversations, right, with the right keywords, you will be a part of the community very quickly. So, and it will help you future, because if somebody tells you certain words and you are not able to understand it there itself, then you know you might lose a certain part of conversation. But
Yeah.
go deep and write down whatever you want in a notebook. I call it as a fancy name, a founder's tech notebook. But you can
Yeah.
call it.
And sir,
And
we got some interesting questions.
uh,
Sorry.
yeah,
Yeah. So we
we
got some
can
interesting questions to the registration form. So someone asked, "I am a designer. Should I
hmm,
learn how to code?" So
for
what's
what?
your perspective
That
on
is
this?
no, that is the objective of the question is, if he is a designer and if he just simply wants to design, what type of design,
Yeah.
like what he wants to do. Like if he's a sketching artist, he doesn't need to have a coding thing essentially.
So
He can
maybe
focus
maybe
on
the
his
person
creative
is
work.
a UI UX designer and he wants to build a product and
Huh.
he's
Learning,
absolutely have no knowledge about coding and
no.
all. So yeah.
As a UI UX designer, coding might not be the most important thing you should be understanding. You should be understanding the tooling part of it than the coding part.
Uh,
Coding will improve things, but it will not add. Like it will, like, unless you're a very inquisitive guy, like very deeply into how coding works, and if you want to design a calligraphy thing or something, then yes.
mhm.
But if it is like enhancing his mode of work as a designer, he should be understanding more about the modern tools in work, actually speaking, because those tools will help him design faster in his life, right? Rather than coding, and because he has to
Absolutely.
understand, okay, what are the modern tools are there and what kind of tools
Mhm.
that can be useful, like how is Adobe maybe Illustrator or
Yeah.
photo digits will be useful for him. That will help him understand rather than creating something from the bare minimum. For example, if you look at ILMs of the world, and if you look at the VFX studios of the world, those those programmers and the special effects guys, they are not like super coders. They know exactly how to use the toolings. So unless he's
Got it.
like unless he wants to go to a line of work where he's actually creating just that kind of softwares, that's a different story. That will definitely help him. For example, if he's building his own VFX studio, for example, right from the scratch, or if he's building another Adobe Acrobat, or if he's building another Adobe Illustrator from scratch, or at least connected with building of some tools, then yes. But if he's a
Yeah.
graphic designer and if he wants to build UI, I don't think coding is a must-have for him.
Yeah.
Actually,
So yeah. So thank you so much, sir, for the answer. And the next question is,
uh,
how to completely outsource the take team?
yeah. So I think
So
we'll visit
someone,
these
yeah,
questions a little bit afterwards, maybe, so that I can just keep on with the flow. I'll just complete.
So
I'll give
actually,
you a disclaimer.
Sure, sir. No issue. We can do that. I think let us complete
Yeah.
the presentation and we'll take other questions.
Correct.
oh,
So that way the flow will remain intact. Otherwise, the flow will the flow will get lost. I'm more
yeah,
of
yeah,
a
yeah, absolutely. No worries, no worries. Please.
Okay. So with all the things, for example, if a founder has done his homework right, for example, if he has kept a survey notebook, he has talked to people, he has found out the right kind of problem solving thing, he has built a wireframing methodologies in which people can actually experience how the product will be. Maybe he has got a website, a landing page where there is a wait list of people who are waiting before the product even launch. Before he has spent even 5,000 rupees, this is what he can pitch to the investor. Now he has spent maximum 5,000 rupees in all these things, and maybe 2 hours of his day, maybe for maybe 15-20 days. But without code, he can still say to the investor that he has validated the idea with 18. If there are email signups happening, and if let's say in 5 days 80 people signed up, then yes, it's a valid idea, right? So investor will be very happy to understand that okay, this is a valid idea. Like, people signing on with a waitlisting thing is something that is appealing, and he can now he has not spent anything, but still, and if there is a prototype walkthrough like the Figma thing that he created, and he has tested with 12 users with their feedback, that's great. And there are 10 user interviews that he has done, and he has put everything in an Excel sheet, and that gives you the prominence of the features they are building. That is absolutely awesome. And they already started building something in no code to actually simulate what happens when a button happens, a little bit of automation. All these things from an investor angle says multiple stories. Investor will be happy that these guys are trying their best without any team at the lowest cost possible to do something good. Second, investor will have validated things happening, which they are very happy to jump into before doing anything. And they will be definitely be happy because if a guy has so much vision and insight to do all these things without a technical team, do wonders. So these are some of the basic things, at least the prime things that any founder should be doing before investing their money to the product. So, so this is just I written now founder success blueprint that just don't delay the tech strategy. Like coding comes last. Don't think about code a lot. Build MVPs to solve one pain point and make it validated pretty quickly. And just document everything. Most important thing, like we have very bad habit of not documenting anything, but we should be documenting all the things so that we know exactly where we stand. Secure your stack and partner with the right tech leader. Just for your reference, I put up a no-code tools where people can use this kind of tools. For example, if you want to build a website, use Bubble or software for user authentication. And this is absolutely no code again. Like it's just clicking the buttons and setting it out. That's it. Like if you want to book a calendar, Calendly or TidyCal is good. Database, Airtable is fantastic. Even Google Sheet is very dependable. Payment integration, Stripe and Zapier, automation, Zapier. Now, all these tools I have given you, it is absolutely no code, costing very little money, and not a single line of code needs to be written here. What is actually of great essence for any founder? It's a decision, right? So when we say founder coming to back to whenever they want to build a team, founders just say that they need a developer, but what they need is a tech leader who understand a bigger picture. And there are some early stage decisions that needs to be taken care of, like what kind of cloud is to be used, what kind of architecture should be used, what kind of security compliance they will use, DevOps to release it faster, do we need the right analytics and the metrics and MLP designing. All these things are uh, are can be done only by people who have been invested in the tech scene. The mandatory little bit of what we do kind of thing. I'll just breeze through it pretty quickly. Like at Remote CTO, we are not a tech team. We think of ourselves as a technology partner, like your strategic technology partner, and we just empower founders with world-class technology leadership. Is all with lot of experience in working with some of the biggest companies in the world. What we wanted to, when we started our company, it was more about we did not want people to hire CTOs at the very, very basic level. What people do is they go to hire a CTO. CTOs are expensive, so they are just demotivationalized. What we say, don't hire a CTO, don't burn your cash, engage with us, and for a very nominal rate, we will make sure that your product is on the right direction. And also core services are CTO level guidance, full stack development, and our expertise from the last 17 years in AI, cybersecurity, and data. And how startups can leverage us? Yeah, like they can collaborate with Remote CTO and talk to us and get decision making from day one itself. And we always say don't outsource anything to us. It's leadership as a service. Like our leaders are working along with you to make sure that your product is actually going in the right direction. And very recently, like last week, we launched something called as a Remote CTO Global Ideathon. And the idea is we are making Ideathon a part of the global challenge. A lot of people have told us that this is probably one of the boldest decisions that I've been taking so far. And we are making it very global. So we are putting it in US, UK, Middle East, and we are inviting people to send their idea or where they're stuck up with their ideas to us. Like they might have started a product, they might have been stuck up with something, they might have a vision, but they don't know how to do it. So we are open to all things. We just say, we just let us know. And out of all these things, we will select one idea, and that one idea we will completely build for free, absolutely free. Like it's not free without caveats. We design it, we architect it, we build it, we deploy it, and we will just all the engineering part behind the product. It will be our baby actually, and without any rights, we are not talking any partnership. We are not exercising any stakeholdership. It's absolutely free in the sense, like really, really free. We just want to help the builders who are actually have a potential brilliant idea, but they're not able to execute it. And it's one idea that we'll be completely building it for free. I mean, even no stakes, nothing. We'll simply build it and hand it over to the founder. And um, and yeah, the deadline is 22nd, and you can go to this URL and just see if we can help you in some way. So
Yeah.
that will all be the part of the Global Ideathon. With that, I think I'm all open to your questions.
Yeah. So I think music book you can ask whatever you want to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Please go ahead.
hi Nitesh. So this is
Right.
Melroy
Hello.
here.
Yeah,
So
hi.
I
Yeah.
wanted to check with you on the CTO part. Do you offer equity sharing basis also?
Not really. Actually, we generally don't have because equity sharing is like very tricky thing. Like because a lot of paperwork needs to be done and long. So as of now, we are not into that equity mode. Either we do it completely for free or we take our charge and take. But we don't have that mode yet as of now.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So we have some questions in the comment box, and I have you can say there. So questions: how to completely source the tech team? And many people think that we have to build a robot, we have to have some kind of persons who can build, and mostly from the perspective, it's important to have a robust tech team. Then it will easier to get the fund, right?
Hmm.
So what's your thinking on it, and how you channelize this kind of challenges?
So to be very open and frank here, like if you are looking at
Yeah.
investment, right? Any investor, like for example, if I'm an investor, I would definitely like my tech team to be within the company rather than outside the company. So what people do is at a very beginning level, they tie up they collaborate with the company with whom they have a certain trust kind of thing. So the ideal way to go around is, you get your product built, at least the 3 core features thing of it, get it built by somewhere, because hiring will be very expensive. See, for hiring you have to wait for some time. Your team has to be set up. What if somebody exits out in the middle? So many things are there,
Absolutely.
and hiring is always an expensive affair, and people don't realize it. But hiring
Yeah.
and the basic things done, like the 3 core features of the product. Get the product ready first. Afterwards, work on a BOT model. Like, once that is done, right, engage your own team. Like, the product is on production. At the same time, build your own at hire in parallel kind of thing.
Yeah.
Hire a small team and transfer the technology to your team, actually. Once that is done,
Yeah.
right, the product enters your ecosystem, actually speaking. Because you have a small team now, you're not depending on that small team to build a product, because product is all built, and your team will be working in parallel. But eventually, everything will be transferred to your internal team, and then whenever you go to the investor will love to see that everything is announced. So
Yeah.
ideally, I think when you're starting at the very beginning, right, and you just want to test the waters before actually putting your crores of rupees into it, just outsource it, get it built, and then bring it inside your company. Put a small team later
Okay.
on, and just start it. That might be the better way. And we have done it for a very like lots of companies in the past. Like what they happen is, like, once the product comes into the, we help hiring on. So we help the team because we know, right, exactly what they want. So we hire the team,
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this
and
is
then
also a very big challenge.
and then we
Yeah.
transfer. Hiring is a big challenge. But since we have built the product, we know exactly what kind of tech stack we want. We help the customers hire the team, and then we transfer the tech inside the company.
Yeah.
And most of the time, the customer wants somebody like a senior guy from our company to oversee their operations for like 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, till it is streamlined, and then we hand it over completely. So it's more of an easy transition from a vendor to an in-house team. Actually, that is a good way to go, I guess.
So yeah, and we have our next questions. I think
Uh-huh.
Shumana Learning Academy. So
Mhm.
uh, I think, yeah, Shumana Learning Academy is in a meet. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, you want me? You want
yeah,
me to spell out the question?
yeah.
Okay.
Please,
Yeah,
please.
we've been a startup. It's been a very deep neck labor market because startup no one willing to join. In fact, because the condition is too heavy. Off late, we are thinking of making a tech stack with the 90% freelancer, with the 10% being a core algorithm will be done by the company, but 90% we want to build with the freelancer. Is this a model viable? What do you foresee? Any problem with that?
Um, so when you say freelancers, right? Okay. First of all, is it like an IP kind of thing that you're making, or is it like
Yeah,
a generic
it's
kind
a
of idea that you're
yeah
making? Like there
yeah
are two things.
it's a full-fledged tech stack
Okay.
where there are proprietary stuff and there is a general items. Since we cannot build all together, it's difficult because the tech stack is too
Right.
complex. So we have to rely
Right.
on formal employment is difficult with the current trend in the labor market and alignment of the people where
Right.
they don't really understand. So
Correct.
where we are offsetting 90% tech stack to the freelancer, where there are a lot of freelancer who are tech capable. So is there possible that we can make a model where 90% tech stack can offload to freelancer and 10% we retain. But end of the day, company will collate all the tech stacks and put it in a products.
Yeah, I think it's not a bad idea if you get the right kind of freelancers and if you're able to afford. Because freelancing generally is a little bit costly, but again, you get different pricings also. Most important for me is when a freelancer comes on board, you should be making sure that he's more into a he's having access to only certain things in your company because factor is there. It's not a bad model for sure.
Thank you.
And once everything is okay, then you can actually take it within your company again. So absolutely fine, I think.
Yeah. So I think we have one more questions that same on the
Mhm.
we need technical support to develop website and machines on equity sharing basis. So I think
Uh,
you have already answered this kind of questions. So yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So I think Zenix director. Hello, are you there?
Hello, sir.
yeah.
Hello,
Hi.
yeah. So you can interact directly with him.
Okay, sir. Basically, my name is Ujjwal Saini, and I'm from Noida. So we are developing an application an application which is connecting mechanics, customers, retail stores, and delivery partners on a digital platform. Like as you know, India is booming day by day, and number of vehicles are also increasing in the market. With the
Mm,
increasement of that number of vehicles, somehow servicing sector is also booming.
mm,
So and there are very less number of competitors in the market. So
mm,
I think it's the best time to develop an application like a servicing platform, like a Zenix Automotive, so that we can grab a huge potential. Like it's a more than 70,000 crore rupees market in India
mm.
for nowadays.
Okay.
So yeah, we are building an application, but due to some circumstances, our tech partner stepped down. So
Mm.
we need tech support. That's why I'm joining this meeting.
So when you say tech partner, it means you have outsourced it to some company or was it your
Yeah,
internal partner?
basically we had connected with a software development company,
Huh.
software from Ghaziabad.
Huh.
So firstly, he discussed all the idea with us, and
Right.
then he stepped down like by saying we cannot work with your idea, like we have different clients also, like those who are paying higher than us, so he
Okay.
stepped down.
Hmm. Yeah. So I think, and you don't have an internal team, right? I guess.
Basically we are two founders
So,
and we are
so
both
did you
from the
start?
business field.
So did you start building anything so far, or was it just it was just
uh,
like discussions were going on?
Basically we had discussed on like UI and UX, and
Hmm.
that team was developing our UI and UX also, but
Hmm.
he didn't deliver the same, and
You
now
didn't deliver
they
that
are
yet.
stepped back with that. Yeah,
Huh.
and they have
Yeah.
stepped back for UI and UX.
Okay. So whatever now the new partner comes in, he has to build it from scratch, right? I guess.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's a major problem where we're headed actually. Like if one of you can build something for identifying the right vendors, that that will also be a big business actually, because nowadays we just don't know whom we can actually go ahead actually. So
That's
yeah,
exactly
Yes,
what
sir.
we
So
do
this is
at
the
Wisey.
yeah.
oh great,
This is the major
yeah,
problem when we came from non-tech department.
right,
So this is the major problem we face. Like I'm from, like I have graduated from business, bachelor's of business administration.
correct,
So I have really lack of knowledge of tech department.
exactly, and that's exactly um, what I would say the dilemma of the beginning because we don't know, right? Like I had a customer in Gurgaon who actually spent 60 lakh rupees to build a mobile app game with zero deliverables in the last 7 months. And when they
Yes,
onboarded
sir.
me as a CTO, nothing was built. And this guy did not, he was clueless. And that happened all the time. Yeah, I think
Sir,
you should,
similar thing was happened with us. on a different project. Like I was working with a APG sites and transportation company who were developing an application like all over. We had complete UI in our hand. Almost 80% of applications were done completely. Front end was done, and the almost 80% back end was done. But at the end, the uh, CTO didn't deliver the application, and he stepped down, and we
I see.
4.5 lakh rupees lost that time.
But did you get the code though? The
He
pieces
didn't
what
deliver the code on time.
that is exactly what the problem is like now. Because
Yeah.
ideally speaking, that has to be your property, right? You're paid the money, the code is belongs to you, actually speaking. But then he doesn't give the
Even
code,
we
it doesn't have a GitHub repo, nothing is there, and it's a sad part, you know.
even we had signed a contract, but it's was less until we have a technical partner so that we can take legal action against him so that we can deliver that code to our new CTO.
Hmm. No, I think you should be getting, like as Ridhima said, right? Like, you know,
Yes.
is the person to actually guide you,
So,
understand, realize the potential actually.
what should we can do at this situation?
No, I think since you have no asset with you, right? You need to
Yes.
probably build something from the scratch. I, I will be able to tell you, like, you know, once we, like, I can talk to you, we can see what can be done. But I think you should be collaborating with the right people if you're wanting to go, like, you know, to realize your dream. I think Ridhima said, right? Like, you know, she will be the person who actually does this kind of thing. And we need persons like Ridhima and John to actually filter out the good from the bad kind of thing. So I think you should get in touch with Ridhima so that, you know, she can find out the most available persons for you wherever it is. I think, honestly speaking.
Yeah,
And of course, you know, you
absolutely.
can definitely get in touch with me if I can be of help anywhere. But, you know, Ridhima and John are the people you should be contacting because they can give you personalized people where you can actually help, you know, with whom you
Yeah,
can trust actually.
definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
We can help you
So
connect
yeah,
with the legal person who can help you guide you on this as well. You can drop in a message to us after the meet, or and you can join the community, and you can connect with Nitesh after the meet.
Okay.
Vasu, yeah, we are coming to you. But before that, we have to take a questions from the comment box by Shamrat Kaushik. Uh, so, is it worth to sign MOU with the technology universities who can develop technology either on a joint research basis or consulting basis? So, yeah, Shamrat, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Do you want me to
Okay.
elaborate on that?
Sure.
Yeah. Please.
Yeah. So thing is that I believe my story is almost also of the similar line what the other fellow was also talking about. So I am basically a business guy working in selling or strategizing the technologies for the respective set of sector users with my corporate experience of around 22 years. Right now, the venture that we have formed is on a agri-tech is basically an agri-tech startup working mainly in the dairy, purely working from a technology aspect in order to improve the productivity and methane emission, that the greenhouse gas emission that gets emitted, so that we can unlock the carbon credit marketplace for the farmers. So in this, actually, I started my journey with one of the co-founders. He is a technology guy. He's basically a Bangladeshi, but based in Germany. And he has a very thorough understanding on AI, and he has been working in past with two agri-tech and one dairy tech startup, wherein he has used AI to develop those technologies. But somehow our collaboration didn't go well, and he just parted away after 1 year or so, a couple of months back. And again, he didn't give me any of the codes what he had developed from an MVP standpoint.
Mm.
Now, thing is that we have started engaging ourselves with a lot of investors, and we have showed what we have developed in MVP, and we were getting a lot of good response from couple of the accelerators who got those built, the Gates Foundation funds and all those stuff, so that they can infuse those points for us to do a kind of a validity into the market. Somehow everything has gone for a toss right now. So we recently participated in Startup Mahakum, and over there I got couple of like the universities who have got AI specific as a department, wherein they've got some scientists who are working day in day out on maybe health tech, medtech, and agri-tech use cases kind of stuff. So they have asked me if they when we showed them what we want to develop. So they said there are two options. Either we can go with you said maybe we need one resource who will be working under us. So either you can appoint or we can appoint on your behalf, and this much of the salary has to be paid with the man hours and everything. And they said whether you want to go with a joint research kind of a stuff, wherein the IP will be not wholesale with the company, which will be a shared basis, or you want from a consulting basis. So I wanted to understand if you want to opt any of these options, is it worth, or again in long run it will be a problem like what we have burned our fingers in past.
I think somewhere it's a interesting direction, tying up with executive like university level things, and I would say it's definitely it will be definitely worth it, provided you get things sorted out. Because when you actually go and when you go with
Hello.
private companies or vendors now, if you have the right kind of things sorted in paper, I think I think that will be a phenomenal thing, because you have like the college research team involved with professors and teachers and students also. And
Sir, I
if
think
you
your
have your
voice is
IP thing,
breaking. Your voice is
is it clear now?
Yeah, yeah, it's clear, but we lost you in
Okay,
between, so I'm not able to understand the
okay.
continuity. Yeah.
No, I think it's I would say, provided you
I think so.
get
Your voice is still breaking.
the key of it actually, because you
Yeah. Excuse me, sir.
there are
I think your voice is
people
still
and
breaking.
Sir, if
IP.
possible, if you can just turn off your video, that will be much better so that you can compensate on the
1 second.
bandwidth. Yeah. Now you may
Let's see.
proceed. Yeah.
Is it good now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you can continue then. Yeah.
Okay. So I think if you sort everything on paper, right, when you are dealing with universities, I think it's not a bad idea, I would say, because ultimately the question will be who will be owning the IP, who will be owning the rights, how much money sharing will be there. If you have a collaboration with the college level things, I would definitely encourage that, because it will be a new way of working with the college. There will be education institutions which will be working directly with people like you, the new age entrepreneurs. It will be knowledge exchange both the ways, but make sure you get everything sorted on paper, like all things legal done.
Yeah, that's what we have planned. So we have
Yeah.
multiple level of meeting that happened with the dean and everybody from the AI
Okay.
departments,
Okay.
and they are all scientists, I believe. Yeah, so I thought let me just check with you on this option because it overall it looks good because
Yes.
the money that needs to be infused is also low. It's all
Right.
there. Lacking that whether they're lacking the kind of idea or the project that you are working on for them to be part of your particular project. But yes, we really need to bind themselves from the legality aspects. Yeah,
Right.
you're right
Right.
over
Right.
there. Sure.
Right.
Thanks a lot.
I think
Thank
that's
you.
a great thing. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you, Shamrat. And yeah, Vasu, now you can ask your questions. Share also.
Yeah. So actually, I have a doubt regarding that the CTO part and remote CTO and having an actual tech team, adding
Mm-hmm.
an actual tech team in the core team.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, first of all, I have a startup regarding the solar powered public transports where we
Okay.
are making a structured market of the last mile connectivity by providing them with the app services for the
Okay.
booking services
Mm-hmm.
and also working on a prototype as well, which will
Okay.
work on the solar power basis as a secondary source of energy for the EVs section in public transport.
Okay.
So basically, we are looking for someone who could develop the application part so that we could run a co-pilot run
Uh-huh.
for the application for the first 6 months so that we could check the adaptability of it in the market. So yesterday I was having a meeting with a remote CTO company who was
Uh-huh.
offering a remote CTO for me.
Okay.
So I have a similar doubt like others, like
Mhm.
should I onboard them as my
Mhm.
CTO
Mhm.
because they are also having a team of 18 to 20 members as they mentioned,
Mhm.
or should I hire my own interns in the team
Mhm.
so that to have a proper tech team, or
Mhm.
will it be fine if I onboard them?
No,
Because
Vasu. So I would like to
yeah.
understand your background. Like, are you from the tech background or you're from non-tech founder?
Actually, I am a BTech student in second year, and
Okay.
my core subject is civil engineering. But
Civil. Okay.
I had an interest in automobiles, so
Hmm.
basically I have been exploring that.
No, then I think you need a senior member to guide your interns. See, interns are interns, right? Like everybody, even I was an intern at one point of time. We
Yeah.
don't have the experience. When I was an intern, I
Mm,
mean, the world is very narrow, right? For at that point of time, I will not have exposure to a lot of things that are industrial grade kind of things. So you need definitely a tech leader to guide your team. Like I mean, you have to need the interns for sure for doing your work actually, but at the same time, you need a leader, a tech leader who can actually guide the interns. Like make point them, okay, this is wrong, this is right, this is the process, this is the tech stack, this is the security part you should be taking care of, scalability issues, infrastructure issues. So the interns will not be able to handle it unless he is like a super bright kid. But if they are regular interns, I think definitely you need a good uh, tech leader to guide them. So without any doubt, go for a remote schedule.
but if in the long run, like other mentioned, like the other one, like
Sorry.
like the other part candidate mentioned that they step down and uh, before finishing the work. So
Huh.
how should I
Then
manage that one?
no, then you should be having that's where the core is. Like you should be working with the right kind of people to. I mean, you should be understanding like why did they step down? Actually speaking, you should you might be having an agreement. I mean, nobody cares about the agreement nowadays, but again, that is where the crux of the story comes. You should be making sure that um, you should be collaborating with the right people because what happens is if you only hire the interns, right, they will
Yeah.
have very less visibility. You should be having somebody whom you can trust to guide the team. That's it. Whoever it is, like maybe a remote studio company, your elder brother, your friends, someone who is working in the tech guy, a final year student, but you should be having a trust in him because otherwise, your interns will be left in a lurch. I mean, they can complete the project for you. I'm pretty sure about it, but the shape of it is important, actually speaking. So if you want to build a good product, like hire some bright interns who can also learn from your senior guys. But yeah, that senior guys should be trustworthy. That is for sure. You need to do your homework there as an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Sir.
Yeah.
Uh, and one last thing that if I onboard the CTO, the remote CTO,
Mhm.
then what work will my interns do? Like they were mentioning that they will handle all this stuff on their own.
Correct.
So
So
then what will be the point of hiring the interns?
no, see, so CTO will not be coding your day-to-day job. That is for sure. Like I would say,
Mm,
the interns are the guys who actually need to understand how code works, right? Like
mm,
any intern who is an intern, like he has to do intense programming for first couple of years before he actually calls him an engineer. Interns are like they have to do all the coding stuff. Whereas the guy who has like 20 years of experience, he will be the guy who will be driving these guys. Like somebody has to validate their work also, right? Like who will access their code, the quality of code, the thought process of the interns. So if you give them a good leader, the interns will also be very happy to work under a good leader because it's all learning time for them, right? So interns are the guys who will be actually doing the coding for you, and the CTO will be the guy who will be directing your interns and what kind of things to do. And not only the interns, right? CTO will have a larger picture. How is your budget going to be managed? How is your infrastructure going to be scaled up? What kind of infrastructure you need? I mean, do you need AWS or Google or Microsoft? Do you need to incorporate AI? Do you need to incorporate data science? Do you need warehousing or not? These are kind of the things that a CTO can bring to the table. Like because he has got an exposure and a knowledge about like working in the tech industry for long, he can share his knowledge with the interns, and that is how an entire company will be. Like CTOs direct the people, interns are actually the people who are doers, and you are the guy who are joining and holding all of them with the required finances, with the required resources that your CTO requires and your interns require. So that's how a company actually goes ahead. Founder is the uniting thread of the entire company, and every guy has his own role to play. And I, from my lens, CTOs are the guys who will be driving your entire tech team ahead. And a good CTO will make your company when it comes to tech.
Thank you.
Wishing you all
I
the
hope
best.
Vasu, you got your answer. And yeah, here is lined up Tushar here. Please come forward.
Hello, I'm audible.
Yes, Tushar.
You're audible, but
Nitesh,
Yeah, yeah.
are you comfortable?
Yes, yes.
Sir, can you please give as I am work even started with make a student community where give student jobs, then mentorships, and we can selling the courses in our platform. So sir, while we talking with the techie person, जब मैं techie person से I'm from non techie, I'm from the pharma background, so जब मैं techie person से बात करता हूँ तो वो मुझे बताते हैं कि हम उसमें मैं जब आइडिया बताता तो वो बताते हैं कि हम उसमें मोंगोडीबी समथिंग यूज करेंगे बैकएंड में फ्रंट एंड में, लेकिन मुझे उसके बारे में कुछ भी आइडिया नहीं। सो मुझे पता नहीं रहता कि वो मतलब कि उसमें बेस्ट क्या है, उसमें बैकएंड में क्या बेस्ट रहता है, कुछ लैंग्वेज वगैरह रहती है कि पाइथन समथिंग, लेकिन उसमें से बेस्ट कौन सी है। सो हाउ मतलब कुछ टिप्स दे सकते हो कि उसके बारे में कैसे करें। लाइक हमारे मेरे साथ स्कैम कैसे हुआ था कि एमवीपी के लिए मैंने मतलब एमवीपी टेस्टिंग के लिए मैंने एक वर्ड पे मतलब किसी से मैंने बनवा के लिए तो उनसे 10,000 रुपीज चार्ज लिया था जस्ट वर्ड प्रेस वेबसाइट के। बाद में मेरे फ्रेंड ने बोला कि ये मतलब मैं भी बना सकता था वर्ड प्रेस से, इतना मतलब ये नहीं था, वो डिफिकल्ट नहीं है। सो लाइक दैट तब से मतलब थोड़ा सा मतलब फिक्स हो सकते हो।
हाँ तुषार, आपका जो प्रॉब्लम है ना, कॉमन प्रॉब्लम यही है कि नॉन टेक्निकल होने की वजह से क्या होता है, कभी कभी ऐसे भी लोग मिल जाते हैं जो आपको बताएंगे कि ये भी अच्छा है वो भी अच्छा है बोल के, बट ऐसा बॉल पार्किश अगर मैं आपको बोलूंगा तो आप अपना थोड़ा होमवर्क करो। आप क्या करो कि आप सिंपल जाके गूगल में सर्च मारना कि आपका जो यूज केस है, आपका जो प्लेटफॉर्म बनाना है उसके लिए बेस्ट टूल्स क्या है। मतलब मैं आपको पॉइंटर्स दे रहा हूँ, आप गूगल में जाके सर्च मारो कि आपका प्लेटफॉर्म के लिए बेस्ट बैकएंड क्या हो सकता है। तो गूगल आपको बहुत सारा लिंक्स देगा, जस्ट गो टू द टॉप 5 लिंक्स 1 2 3 4 5। वहां पर आप देखो कि मैक्सिमम कौन सा पॉइंटर्स आ रहे हैं, नोड जेएस आ रहा है, पाइथन आ रहा है, जैंगो आ रहा है। वो आपको थोड़ा इन्फॉर्मेशन देगा कि ये टूल्स को यूज करा शायद आपको बेनिफिशियल रहे, लेकिन फिर भी आपको गारंटी नहीं है कि आपका टूल जो बनाने वाला होगा वो आपको क्या बोलते हैं अच्छा ही पॉइंट इज आप लोगों से बात करना शुरू कर दो। आप गूगल में थोड़ा सर्च मारो, आपको थोड़ा बैकएंड में क्या टेक्नोलॉजीज है, फ्रंट एंड में क्या टेक्नोलॉजी है, उसके बारे में आप थोड़ा छानबीन करो। चैट जीपीटी में जाओ, उससे पूछो चैट जीपीटी से कि मेरे को फ्रंट एंड में क्या टेक स्टैक अच्छा है आजकल, बैकएंड में क्या अच्छा है। अच्छा उसके आपका जो फ्रेंड सर्कल है, जो कोर फ्रेंड सर्कल है जो टेक टीम में है, उनसे आप थोड़ा सलाह मशवरा करो। आप जाके टेक इवेंट को अटेंड करो, भले आप नॉन टेक फाउंडर, लेकिन आपका ईचाई इवेंट या ऐसा कुछ इवेंट्स जो चलता है, जो जो एक गैदरिंग होता है टेक्नोलॉजी लोगों का, people are ready to help in most cases. मतलब छोटा छोटा काम भले ही उनको टाइम नहीं होगा, लेकिन आपने छोटा यार Node.js करना है कि पाइथन करना है, तो वो पता है कि ओके पाइथन कर ले केस में चलेगा बोल के. तो यू हैव टू स्टार्ट अटेंडिंग, थोड़ा सा आपका कम्युनिटी को एक्सपोजर करो, कोई दोस्त वोस्त बनाओ में. अभी आपको अच्छा मिलेंगे, लेकिन थोड़ा बहुत पता चलेगा कि रिसर्च से पता चला तो जरूरत ही नहीं है सर, ये मेरा काम तो Node.js में भी हो जाएगा. यू कैन काउंटर क्वेश्चन है कि Node.js या मेरे Node.js में ही करना है, तो थोड़ा सा आप अपने आप को इन्फॉर्म रखना जरूरी है एक्चुअली कि क्या क्या चीजें चल रहा है बाजार में और क्या इवेंट्स चल रहा है. सो जस्ट मेक श्योर छोटे छोटे इवेंट भी हो ना, तो आपको थोड़ा फॉर्मलाइज करना जरूरी पड़ेगा. एंड अगेन यू हैव टू टॉक विद पीपल हुम यू ट्रस्ट. मतलब आप ऐसे ही कोई भी आता है तो मत दीजिए, आप उसका बैकग्राउंड ले लीजिए, उसका काम पूछिए क्या किया है उसने पहला. हमें तो वेरिफिकेशन कीजिए कि जो आपसे जो बात कर रहे हैं बिजनेस का, वो एक्चुअली आपका 10,000 तो छोड़िए, 1,000 का भी वैल्यू है क्या उसका. उसका काम पूछिए आप, क्योंकि आप उसका पैसा दे रहे हो, पूछो उसको कि क्या क्या काम किया है तुमने, क्यों Node.js ही क्यों, पाइथन क्यों नहीं. ऐसा पूछो, और ऐसा पूछने के लिए आपको थोड़ा अपना सर्कल में थोड़ा सा इन्वॉल्व करना
Yes,
पड़ेगा. यू शुड बी अंडरस्टैंडिंग द थिंग्स.
yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
हाँ पक्का.
So yeah. So sir, we have one more questions, and this will be the last questions of this session. And the question is from Ridhima. So hello Ridhima, would you like to spell it out, or should I?
Yeah. Actually, we had a lot of founders who were coming for the Ideathon, which is organized by Remote CTO, where you will be developing the product for free for one of the founders.
Yeah.
So they wanted to know like what are the security measures? Like some founders are not sure how their idea would be protected as they will be sharing confidential details about their startup.
Right.
So if you could elaborate on that.
We have a privacy policy. See, in that form, right? So there is a privacy policy already published by us, actually. So if anybody goes and reads it, right, we have clearly written that how are we going to secure that idea. It will be only be available to a select few remote studio. It is not going to be shared with anybody else, and we will make sure that it is retained on an encrypted server. Everything is written in that privacy policy, because even it's our responsibility, right, that this should not be, you and I should not be just rambling about an idea in open. It is completely, it comes to our remote CTO servers, it gets stored in the emails, and that's it. So it's not like,
Yeah.
and we are not disclosing to anybody, even for any third party, even for ads or anything. It's just resting in the Gmail servers, and that's it. So in that privacy policy, right, if you get like if anybody asks you that question, if they fill up that form, the last part is that tick mark, whether you learn the terms and condition and the privacy policy. That privacy policy has all the things related to the idea protection things. And I would
Yeah.
urge everybody to go through it, read it first,
Yeah.
like not just tick mark it. And it is very simple. It hardly takes 2 minutes to read it. It's not like that corporate style wala where we have got a lot of like hundreds of
Yeah.
bullet points. It's pretty much straightforward if you can go through. And you can tell your founders, like, just go through the privacy policy once. And if they have any more questions, even after reading it, right, they can simply email us and ask us their concern.
Yeah, much clear, much clear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
And yeah.
I
So
had a follow-up question as well.
Sure.
Yeah. So, like you said, like many of us here have faced scams with the, CTOs, be it
Mm.
full-time, be it tech teams, freelancers, or even remote CTOs. So,
Correct.
what are some red flags from your experience to look for when you are hiring somebody to do your technical work?
As I said to Tushar, I think the best way is ask them the credibility. But again, credibility can be shown anywhere, right? Like, you can show testimonials, you can say credibility, all these things. What I would think is uh, ask about them, their actual work, and try to get some background from LinkedIn or some other sourcing. But people are honestly speaking, Ridhima, people have small eyes that it's very difficult to actually go believe somebody like just blindly. Like I may be sounding brilliant, but I may not be that brilliant actually. So it is more like your gut feeling plus work experience plus the referrals plus the actual homework that you do in figuring out whether your money is going to the right people or not. That is, I would say, what you call the validation thing, because um, everything can be fabricated as of now, but it's more about your homework that you do. Like, make sure that um, you have the backlinks to the right people. Like, the
Yeah.
Yeah.
like if a guy says I have worked for Visa, for example, and if you can't just go and ask him like, okay, show me who has worked, but then you can actually do your homework and see, right? Like, what kind of projects he has worked on and how authentic does he look. For me, if you ask, like, whatever vendor I select, I go purely by my gut feeling and the understanding that and the vibe that I get with that guy. Like, if I get the right kind of thing, which is, but but um, but if you speak to a guy in like 20 minutes with all his experience and pure business, I think you should be able to make a decision. But yeah, again, strong referrals is the number one, and like if I get somebody from my referrals, it is great, and if I don't get it from referrals, then I will go by his work and overall understanding of the human value that he brings to the table, and yeah, and if he's able to solve my questions, for example, like if I have a problem, and if he's able to figure out the problems, and if he's able to say, okay, these are the problems, and we have done the work, and this is the way of the path ahead, and if I'm convinced with that way of path, then I think you can go ahead. Be little bit strict on the payment options. So, like, don't hand over
Yeah.
right at the beginning. Maybe performance or KPI based payment will be something to monitor. Like, milestone number one, 30%, milestone number two, another 20%, something like that. So your payment is also like you get the right kind of delivery versus payment mechanism rather than giving like
Yeah.
60% at the beginning and then. So
Yeah.
it should be a right mix of the economics in place, the gut feelings in place, the testimonials and the strong backlinks that you can figure out. And most important thing is if talking to him makes, I mean, if you get a feeling that, okay, he has the right mindset to solve my problems, I think that will be a greatest takeaway, according to me.
Got it.
Actually, stay safe with the money.
Yeah, so like as you said, like payment mechanism should be milestone based, but like one of your founders mentioned that they did not get the code after making a payment, and the
Yeah,
work
that
was
is.
done.
No, it
So
has to be on the MOU itself. Like, the GitHub repo should be owned by the founder. See, the code that is being built, right? That is
yeah,
not the code. The owner, the founder of the company is the owner of the code. It's as simple as that. It's not the developer is owner of the code. So a lot of
yeah. So
non-tech
how can
code,
founders, own the code or take hold of
no,
the
they should have the, no, it has to be on the GitHub repo, and the owner of the repo should be the founders, not the other guy. The password of the GitHub repo should be owned by the founder. For example, you guys know about GitHub, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
many of us do know. Some people might not be aware.
So GitHub is a code repository where all the code gets. We can store all the code. So it's like a repository. It's like a vault where you store all your code. So on your MOU, it should be like clearly written that the GitHub owner is you. Now you can go and create a GitHub account and give it to your developer, telling that, okay, guys, just sync your code to this. So every week the developer will keep on syncing to the code to that GitHub repo. But the GitHub password should be owned by you. It should not be owned by the other other guy. But a lot of people don't understand this concept. Like, probably I should make some videos. I don't know. That's not process. but
Yeah,
but the,
definitely. I think it's very helpful for
yeah,
the people coming from non-tech background who have
yeah,
not used GitHub in their workflow, so they
yeah,
might not be aware how it
yeah,
works.
exactly. So you should be owning the software. It's as simple as that. Like, you know,
Got it.
uh, yeah,
Got it.
you are the owner.
So yeah.
Yeah,
So I think
Thank you so much.
this is already
sure.
8:30. So we have to conclude the meet. So before concluding this webinar, so I just give a little brief about Visey and what we do and what you stand for. So yeah, I'm sharing my screen. Just allow me for a few seconds. So I hope this is visible. So we are the one-stop place for founders to get unstuck, level up their startup and MSME journey. So basically जितने भी founders हैं, चाहे and MSME owner हैं, चाहे उनको business build करने के लिए starting से लेके end तक funding, guidance, MVP building and legal support, everything end to end सारे supports हम seconds के अंदर उनको दिलवाते हैं through Visey platform. And for now, you can join our platform, join our community. The link is in the comment section. And जब पूरा platform functional हो जाएगा, then we'll invite you for use the product. And also, for now, you can search funding and opportunities, and also you can explore our page, LinkedIn page, and this is all about us. So please.
Yeah, and do join
Please,
the WhatsApp community. So we would
yeah,
love to
what's
connect
the
with
community?
each one of
So
you one on one, or
to get
connect you with people like Mr. Nitesh who can help you with your
absolutely,
technical and
absolutely,
other aspects in your
yeah,
business.
and please join the community to get all the updates first time. Yeah. So I guess so. Ritima, you can conclude the Shetty, and thank you so much, sir, for joining. And Ritima, please.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That's my
thank
pleasure.
you so much, Nitesh ji, for your time. It was really very helpful for each one of us here. And I would urge all of you present here and who are watching on LinkedIn and YouTube to register for the Ideathon. It's a great opportunity to get your product developed. Mr. Nitesh and Remote CTO is doing it for a good cause, because not all of us can afford tech development, and that is what Remote CTO also stands for. So please do register for the Ideathon. It may be you who would be the winner, who knows. So do register for that opportunity.
Yeah.
Thank you
Good.
so much.
So thank you so much everyone for your time. So we are signing off. Have a very good night. Yeah. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so
Yeah,
much.
Thank you.
bye bye.